Welcome to News Laundry Chota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. News Laundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a News Laundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. वेलकम टू another episode of Hafta from a very cold and rainy Delhi. Although it's not raining right now, it has been.
We
had maximum rain in January so far.
Ever.
In Delhi.
And apparently there has been snowfall in several parts of the country. And there was huge blizzards. I mean, yesterday, the kind of gusts of wind that accompanied the rain were quite phenomenal in Delhi. So Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Hope
New Year.
2021 is amazing for you all. In the studio with me is Raman Kripal,
Hi.
Manisha Pandey.
Hello.
Joining us on the phone line is Anand from Patna. Hi, Anand.
Hello.
And Jayashree from Chennai. Hi, Jayashree.
Hi.
So, I have two announcements before we give you the headlines. One is, like I have said earlier, Hafta has gone behind the paywall. So, this bit is the free bit. It's a part of the Chota Hafta if you can listen to it and you're not a subscriber. But if you want to listen to the full Hafta, do subscribe and pay to keep news free because Hafta is now behind the paywall. So, to access it, you're going to have to pay. And we have a new NL Sena project, which I shall tell you about as we get into the podcast. But let's go straight to the headlines now.
Yes. Donald Trump supporters storm US Capitol. 4 people are dead. More than 50 people have been arrested. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram have blocked Trump's accounts after his supporters stormed the Capitol building. The latest on this is that Trump has said that he's pledged a smooth transition. Meanwhile, in India, farmers have taken out a tractor march against farm laws. Our reporters are right now at the scene of action covering it. So you should check out the reporting.
And by right now, we are recording this on Thursday, the 7th of January at 3 p.m. in Delhi.
Battling the coronavirus surge, UK PM has called off his R-Day visit to India. There's no call on the new guest yet.
I heard a joke about that they should call as a foreign visitor Rahul Gandhi. Someone on Twitter had posted that.
Smart. A sessions court in Indore has rejected comedian Munawar Farooqi's bail plea. He cited law and order situation. Munawar Farooqi was arrested because apparently he cracked jokes on Hindu deities and Amit Shah, though no one really knows what jokes were cracked. And according to one account on social media, there weren't any jokes on Hindu goddesses.
Yeah, it's not even clear whether this FIR refers to a performance there or are they referring to something he had cracked earlier, which is on YouTube. But because they want to keep him in custody, they're kind of using that because the BJP leader's son who created a fracas there may look like an idiot if nothing was happened at that time.
And this is where reports on these things like comedian arrested for derogatory remarks are very irritating to read because in most cases, newspapers never tell you what the derogatory remark is. It's just like arrested for derogatory remarks. So you're left wondering what the remark was. Anyway, the Supreme Court is going to hear pleas against anti-conversion law and they've issued a notice to the UP government. India has authorized the emergency use of 2 COVID-19 vaccines developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University and by our very own Bharat Biotech. There's quite a bit of controversy over the Bharat Biotech vaccine, which we should discuss.
Mm-hmm.
According to a report, internet shutdowns in 2020 cost India $2.8 billion.
Yes, and I'd just like to say one bit of information on this. I actually, there were so many internet shutdown conferences that have taken place in the last 2-3 years. Not in the last year, but before that for about 3 or 4 years. And I have attended at least a dozen. So I always used to ask, and there used to be panelists from, big tech companies. There used to be panelists from Niti Aayog and Sarkari. And I always, because I used to find this, and earlier there was service tax and then there was GST, that how do you pay? Because you have to pay online. So if you are an entrepreneur or a businessman in a place where there's internet shut down for 6 months, how do you pay? Because if you don't pay, then you're penalized. And I have not yet got an answer. So if anybody runs a business from a place that has had internet shutdowns, I really want to know, how do you guys pay your GST? Or before that, how did you pay your service tax and that Yamuna Saf, the 2% cess, what was that? Water treatment cess or whatever. How did you guys do it? Because I can't imagine how you can run a business if you don't have internet in India.
Indian economy to contract by 9.6% in 2020-21, predicts World Bank. Nirav Modi's younger sister and her husband have opted for pardon, and they have said that they'll testify against him in the two cases filed by the ED against him. Quite interesting.
प्यार वफा सब बात. You can carry on. I'll just provide the ambience. Go ahead.
Central Vista gets Supreme Court's all clear. It's a 2:1 verdict. Says no infirmity. Jayashree, I think there's some caveat to it though, right?
Yes, Jayashree shall give us some details as we discuss this.
Okay.
Yes.
UK judge blocks Assange extradition to US, citing mental health. He said that he's under the extreme risk of suicide. All districts in Karnataka have been put on high alert due to bird flu. Speculations of Jack Ma missing are rife because the business tycoon has not been seen in public for weeks.
In fact, he missed the grand finale of a reality show that is actually his show. But apparently his Ant Network or whatever it's called, Ant Corporation has put out a statement saying that he's fine, because in the middle there was some
and
other...
Alibaba, no?
Yeah, but I think the mother company is Ant, right?
Ant,
Alibaba
okay.
is... And there was speculation because at least some news sites had reported that he is under supervision. He has agreed to be under supervision by the Chinese authorities, but
Wow.
there is no confirmation of that either. But an official statement has been put out that he's okay. He's just very busy or indisposed, and that's why he couldn't make it for that particular recording. And just one more bit regarding the earlier headline, the high alert bird flu. Also, in certain parts of, I think, Kerala, they have culled almost like 10 or 12,000 ducks because
They worried about the flu.
the flu, yeah.
Wow.
And Rajasthan also about 54 crows died. The images of them.
Yeah. Just
The
dropping.
Bharatpur has, in January, you have the maximum migratory
birds. So yeah, it's of a sab kuch, matlab, those of you who thought 2021 will be the chill year, better you started off with bird flu and we know what happened in
Yeah.
America. So yeah, just saying.
Local Bajrang Dal leader saw a Muslim shopkeeper selling shoes with Thakur written on its sole and has filed an FIR. Uttar News, we should just have a column in News from Uttar Pradesh. So,
UP mein aajkal.
actually,
Because
let's say
their
hona
stories
chahiye.
are absolutely takes us to the primitive time.
Now, a Delhi court has said that there's reasonable ground and prima facie evidence that shows Umar Khalid, JNU student, and the suspended AAP councillor Tahir Hussain conspired during the Northeast Delhi riots. Umar Khalid has maintained that there's a media trial against him. But yeah, it's significant that the court has said there's, good enough evidence to continue with this case.
And there's one more headline, which is the Karnataka High Court has rejected the Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa's petition to drop the land case against him. And they've also asked him to pay 25,000 rupees. So this is actually about a case, I think, from 2015, if I'm not wrong. Or maybe, I'm not sure. But, I mean, it's come up in several times. I think it maybe came to this court in 2015. But yeah, now the opposition is asking for his resignation since this corruption case against him has not been dismissed by the courts.
I think it was a 2013 complaint that started the whole thing.
Right. So before we start off with the biggest reality show that kept both Raman and me awake till late last night, that's why we are both little low on energy today. And so we better go to sleep early today, otherwise at our age we can fall ill.
I got up
At
at
to watch
6
to watch the
5:50,
insanity.
and then I started watching. And I was watching till 12 o'clock when I started for the office.
It's so much of viewing of American Capital is not good for your brain. But we have a new NL Sena project up. Do contribute to it. It's basically, we cannot reveal who it's about because that would alert a lot of people. It is about basically the whole Godmen. So we are going to be featuring, maybe a few of them. And, not just Chandra Swami, the late, who was this Godman who wielded power. Godmen have been a part of the Indian power politics for a long time. So we're just looking at their business deals, their businesses, their revenue models, their yogic science, and their spectacular rise of a few of them in the last few years. So as we go forward, we will reveal who is it. But a Sena project like this, we can't give you all the details. So if you do consider our journalism credible, do contribute to this NL Sena project. We are going to be putting 2 reporters to investigate the spectacular rise of a Godman who you may or may not have faith in. And it's all about faith. But it is going to be a straight up, thorough vanilla investigation without any speculation. like Raman sir specializes in. So do contribute to that. So I had the TV on, CNN was playing live, the speeches were coming. Now CNN did not cut to this one's speech, Trump's full speech, which was apparently an insane speech.
But what I want to know is, I haven't watched the speech. How rousing was it?
Oh, it was.
I mean,
rousing.
could it have just gotten such a spontaneous crowd out to just do what they did? Like, I'm just really surprised that it was
What according
like
to
people just heard him and marched.
No, according to CNN, I mean, most of these supporters, they had come from outside and they were living in expensive hotels. Okay, and they had gathered much earlier.
Yes, and in fact it was like a rock concert. There was loud music, some USA song, all that shit was happening. But
An Indian flag also.
yeah, there was one, some Indian dude was there, landed up. But actually, a lot of these desis are Trump supporters. Actually, we'll come to that also. But so basically what happened was Trump made a speech. It was a long, rambling speech. But the things that stood out were, one, he said the media are enemies of the people, that the election has been stolen. It is a solemn duty to reclaim the country. And the Republicans, because at that time, the entire endorsement कहते हैं, जो भी कहते हैं, basically when the Mike Pence officially counts the... So he says, Pennsylvania Avenue, I love Pennsylvania Avenue. I love it. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania Avenue. And there's some weak Republicans. Yeah. And, the weak ones, they need like some support. So, there's some strong ones, they don't need us. But the weak ones need us. So we have to make them bold. Be strong. Go there, make them bold. Now, what the fuck does... And fight. You got to be strong and you got to fight. So in my view, if it was the Indian judicial system where Harsh Mandar saying that we will not raise our hands, really peaceful, Omar Khalid saying the same, can lead to sedition. As for the Indian legal system, Trump is already
it's
guilty.
It's a case of sedition, yeah. In fact, CNN has already pronounced it.
Section 25 bol rahe invoke karenge. It was a ridiculous speech. And of course, then we saw what played out. And my only thing is that there are still people who are saying, what about the farmers' protest? What about Black Lives Matter? I think if there's anybody who's still doing the all sides are same, unko dekho, that person is incapable of having a conversation around this. Because then it's like trying to explain color to a blind person. You can't do that.
This is just farm law. This is just crazy.
Then clearly you are so blind that you don't want to see anything. You've picked a team. Modi saying that there should be a peaceful transition of power. What is the equivalence of this being a case of interfering with the country's internal affairs? When foreign countries like Justin Trudeau comments on how someone is handling Indian democracy or protests. Does Modi's tweet wander into that zone? Do you think one should remain quiet? Like Boris Johnson tweeted, everybody's tweeted. Should Modi have kept quiet about it?
See, there is a realist in school of international politics. You need to have the worldview of the country. So there would be always an element of hypocrisy in it that don't comment on our internal affairs. Now, this segregation between international affairs and the country's prerogative to comment on something of international interest in any other country is very vaguely defined, and people may deny it, but the only thing that drives it is national interest. All the rest thing is just humbug, that the concern for this and that. So people need to have a register of the foreign policy outlook of a country on different issues, and this is what India thinks. Now, India may not like it when other countries have similar comments to make about internal affairs in India. Now, this is some kind of inevitability in international affairs. So taking a very moral high ground that you didn't do that, I did that is all rubbish.
Where the mute, when the Capitol was being stormed and the cops were standing, and some of them were obviously scared because of the goons out there, and they ran backwards. So, including, I think Shekhar Gupta also said, Delhi police or one SP and 2 sub-inspectors can take care of these guys. That basically hand the Delhi police over and they'll take care of this mob. They know how to do this. So,
oh my God.
I saw several such by journalists, by
they
commentators.
Wouldn't. Delhi police wouldn't.
Now, I just found that so stupid. And this is one of those things that also you're saying, Arey, humse seekho, election kaise chalate hain. This very Bevkoof type of chest thumping, I find ki it is not the same thing. I mean,
not at all.
I don't think elections in India are rigged in the sense of the EVM is fixed or this is. But if anyone was to convince me that the election commission, all election commissions, especially the ones in the last few years, have behaved in extremely responsible and bipartisan or non-partisan fashion, it would be a huge task. And that would be trying to convince someone that Yogi is a very secular person who also respects Muslims. Now, you may believe that in your heart of hearts, but it would be very hard for you to convince anyone of that. So, this is a very desi habit. Arey, hum sikha dete hain. You're half joking, but you're half serious.
Also, like, look at the context.
It's so
at
dumb. It's
at
such
the
a dumb
capital,
comment.
it's a majoritarian white man mob. In India, that would be a Hindu mob. And
Yes.
Delhi police
Brahmin
would
mob.
stand and watch, and they have stood and watched at riots where Hindus have attacked
And what's
Muslim
the joke?
houses.
I mean, if
Like,
it's a
there's
joke,
no-
what's the punchline? What's the context? What's the setup line? If it's not a joke, are you dumb?
Also, I just want to add that this is, like I said, it was a majoritarian white man mob. If it was black people, suppose they'd stormed or,
Yeah.
whatever, Black Lives Matter storm,
course, it
police
would
would
have-
not have stood like that.
They would have bloody...
They would have shot
No, look at what
dead.
happened in Portland. What happened?
CNN had done a study on the role of the police. So when the entire mob climbed up the stairs, so the focus of the camera was on the policemen. What are they doing? So the police looked quite inert at that time. Okay, I mean, they were not doing anything, as if they are waiting for some orders.
But with respect to what Manisha was saying on how in India it would have been a Hindu mob, the mob that we saw in the capital today, that is absolutely a fact. And that's the kind of mob that we have seen in India. We saw it in Delhi. And I think Indians in general are smug. Like, this is one of those times for them to be very smug and say, oh my God, like, see what's happening over there. It would never happen here. But I think Indians have far more to worry about in India.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can compare the two.
I think in India, such a thing, if a demagogue like Trump was to take over, and it would reach next level. And I think no one would have been able to control it. I think it'd be complete frenzy.
Yeah, so Julian Assange, as everyone knows, he founded WikiLeaks, which has published a lot of material from a wide range of sources. So it's through WikiLeaks that we found out a lot about America's war crimes in Iraq, about Guantanamo Bay, and so many other things. So the US government, I think, had launched an investigation into this, and he was convicted, I think, under the Espionage Act. So that's when he fled to the UK. Then there were also some rape, sexual assault allegations in Sweden. Anyway, he ran to the UK. He then he took refuge in the Ecuador embassy. And the US has been trying for years now to get him back so he can face trial under the Espionage Act. So yes, he would be tried for treason. So what happened yesterday is that the judge said that he would not be extradited to the US. She said because over there he'd be put in solitary confinement, and that would be very bad for his mental health and drive him to suicide. The judge also said that she could not give him bail because he still has incentive to abscond. So while the extradition, the not being extradited thing is a cause for celebration, his lawyers and activists are still quite upset because what they want at the end is for the case against him to be dropped.
One is expected as a journalist to speak up for Assange. Some do, some don't, some have a nuance. And I've seen, I actually, as far as whistleblowers are concerned, I think there is something to be said for their protection and they should not be tried for sedition. But what I understand is the allegation against him isn't just about publishing stuff. It is about hacking into a system to get data. Is that right, Jayashree?
That, but also the fact that he published a whole lot of data which revealed a lot of sources and a lot of sources of confidential information. And these were disclosures that were made on the condition of anonymity. So that made these sources vulnerable to public scrutiny when this is something they specifically chose not to do. So this was another major problem.
Yeah, so I don't think it's, and especially the hacking bit is not a black and white. It's like while, Assange may not be a Arnab Goswami, but the case against him that the Bombay police took, clearly they were leveraging their power over him, using a case to be spiteful about his journalism. But that particular case was not a journalistic case. That was a completely different case. So this hacking is not really about journalism. Is it? Suppose we were to hack into a system to get data and get caught doing it. Can we say journalism should protect us?
Also, like some of the things, yeah, exactly. Like war crimes, there's also like you have to judge public interest in what he put out. The stuff on war crimes probably would have never come out any other way. And this is probably the only way to do it. And this was stuff that needed to become.
Yes.
People needed to know what was happening.
Yes.
But maybe some of the diplomatic cables about spying and all that. I mean, all countries spy. Everyone knows everyone's snooping, whatever. And maybe there was some information. So I don't know the whole story of WikiLeaks, like what all he published, but the initial tranche that he got was from Chelsea Manning, who was an officer with the Navy, right? Who decided to give him those diplomatic cables and leaks. That is fair game. It was someone within the system reaching out to Assange saying that, this needed to be out. Now that person did hack, and that person was also in jail, and Obama, being the hero that he was, also didn't pardon her. I mean,
she was pardoned by Obama.
Much later, after a lot of pressure, but she was in a jail for a long time, and it was only after a lot of pressure that she was pardoned. But
he got several things. I mean, it's not just hacking. He got several things from the sources, and I mean, the Official Secrets Act was imposed against him.
So to me, in such cases where you're using covert means, whether it's a hidden camera or you're recording surreptitiously, or ADIA tapes, you leak out conversations, or what he did, he essentially collaborated with someone to hack into a system. I think to me, I have to look at the end result to know whether it's justified or not. How big is what you're revealing?
If it is in public interest.
Yeah. So war crimes to me is very big. Suppose there's a pedophile racket with, I don't know, high profile names, and it is something that could have only come out through hacking someone's email or phone or recording someone's surreptitiously. I think it's not journalism, it's not classical journalism, but I'd say, I mean, to get dirt out, sometimes you have to get dirty. And I would
and especially when we are not so transparent. I mean,
sure.
So the truth must come out.
I think that's the thing also, right? Like, so Trump and Mike Pompeo and all said that Assange is not a journalist, therefore he deserves no protection. And so this is something that a lot of people have brought up, saying that he's not a journalist, he's just this sort of activist fraud. But even the Committee to Protect Journalists has chosen not to list Assange as a journalist. They're saying he's not a journalist, he's been a source, and WikiLeaks is not a news outlet with an editorial process.
Yeah.
But the fact that his prosecution would still be a threat to journalists who are engaging in investigative journalism, or to whistleblowers. So I think it's okay whether or not you choose to label him as a journalist. That's
I think information he could be. Yeah, he is a bit of a bandit, like Anand said. Maybe like a Robin Hoodish, doing it for the right reason.
About his walk away. Yeah.
So on Monday, Prime Minister Modi announced that we are going to start the world's largest vaccination drive. 2 vaccines have been approved. One is by AstraZeneca, as we know, Covishield. And Covaxin is the other one, which is being developed by Bharat Biotech. And this was really played up in the news. Both announcements came together. And this was played up as, we have finally our Atmanirbhar, we have a Desi vaccine, and Bharat is the greatest of all. Now, the problem was that the Covaxin vaccine we don't have data from the phase 3 yet. And the trials are still ongoing with some 22,000 people who participated in the trial.
There's no data made public even from the trial 1 and trial 2.
Trial 1 and trial 2. But at least there's data.
There's no data made public.
They may have data.
They have studied internally.
They also don't have data. Why? Because the scientists never speak a language that the efficacy is proven. They say the efficacy is 80%. They always quantify.
So we're saying they don't have the consolidated data presented, and so it still has to be consolidated still.
See, even the emergency listing of a vaccine follows a very rigorous assessment of your phase 3 clinical trials. So what is happening here is that we're sort of frog leaping over one's very vital set of clinical trials to say that we're authorizing it for emergency use. And they did this with Ebola, in which they, I think, approved a vaccine for emergency use, but that was also because there weren't any other candidates available. But with coronavirus, that is not the case.
That's true.
And regardless of what the ICMR guy is saying, so this is what I think Gagandeep Kang had said in The Wire with her interview to Karan Thapar. The rules do not permit authorizing the use of a vaccine without completing the phase 3 trial. Like, this is science. This is not a matter of speculation or debate. This is literally how science works. And especially with vaccines, when you're administering it to a large percentage of the population, these are steps that you have to follow. You can't really speed them up.
And for all you know, that, like we were discussing, that maybe there is reason to be very optimistic about how things have proceeded with this vaccine. But you've completely now ruined it by,
And if you look at the press note only talks of efficacy.
Please come to newslaundry.com, check out our wonderful reports, our podcasts, our video shows, and pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. I can't stress this enough and how important this is. All of you listening in, the Chota Hafta, do subscribe so you can listen to the entire Hafta. We will see you again next week with the Hafta. Till then, subscribe, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served, and advertisers pay. Advertiser served. Thank you. Goodbye.
All the News Laundry podcasts are available on Stitcher, iTunes, and any other podcast platform.
Please subscribe to News Laundry. Help us keep news independent. To catch all our podcasts on news, pop culture, current affairs, and sport, visit newslaundry.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
सुन लिया अफ्रीका मुफत खोरों. Not to brag or anything, but News Laundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free.
All News Laundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.